far as we were concerned, he did the impossible.
The cornerstone of SABIC, an icon of our industry.
Under your leadership, we'll do it.
The transformation of Saudi Arabia into a global industrial powerhouse is the great life work of many visionaries. Chief among them was His Excellency Abdulaziz Al-Zamil, a true captain of our industry. Today, we pay tribute to his memory and honor his achievements. Engineer Abdulaziz Al-Zamil was born in Unayza, Saudi Arabia in 1941, but spent most of his childhood with his family in Bahrain, where his father established a successful business. Upon obtaining 2 degrees in industrial engineering from the University of Southern California, he returned to Riyadh in 1967 to help build an industrial future for his country. From the very beginning, as the foundations were being laid to harness the economic value of flared gas and develop successful petrochemical industries in Saudi Arabia, Abdulaziz Al-Zamil led the efforts to assess the feasibility of large-scale projects from Jubail all the way to Yanbu. When SABIC was created in 1976, he took the reins as its first chief executive and vice chairman. In this role, at a time of great challenges and struggle, he helped build SABIC with a firm foundation and established it onto the world stage. He demonstrated exceptional talent for attracting foreign partners, negotiating favorable contract terms, gaining access to advanced technology, and securing technical know-how and training for his employees. A firm believer in the capabilities of the kingdom's youth, Al-Zamil hired highly motivated, Western-educated young Saudi engineers who, much like himself, were eager to contribute to the development of their country. When Al-Zamil went on to serve as Minister of Industry and Electricity and Chairman of SABIC in 1983, he transformed the Saudi private sector as an engine for economic development and diversification. His policies encouraged entrepreneurs to start up manufacturing operations and fostered a regulatory environment that enabled the creation of private enterprises. Upon retiring from his ministerial post in 1995, Al-Zamil returned to the family business, the Al-Zamil Group. In 1999, he established SIPCAM, and in 2004, he set up Sahara Petrochemical Company. He served as chairman of both companies until 2019.
Abdulaziz Al-Zamil was a great friend.
As far as we were concerned, he did the impossible.
Cool-headed type of a person who listens.
He is more or less a mix between a parent and a teacher.
And it was a pleasure to work with him because he is definitely a family man. So he viewed the people are either as his brothers or his children. If you know him, he will classify you in his mind and deal with you along these lines.
I mean, he was a great mediator. He understood business. He never asked us to do the impossible. And we'd work our way through these agreements every 5 or 6 weeks for 3 years. Again, meeting with Mr. Al-Zamil at the end of each week and resolving most of the things that we had been unable to resolve during the week.
He concentrated heavily on the training. One time, the team of one of our partners in Houston came all the way to Saudi Arabia. They come every month for negotiation. Before we start the meeting, just first minute, he looked at the agenda. There was no training item. He said, "I'm sorry, we cannot continue this meeting, and we'll never have another meeting until you bring details of how we're going to train our people."
He's a true leader. I mean, the culture of SABIC is really unique in our society today. Whenever you get a person, coming from his school, you get a person who cares for the people, a person who has high integrity, and a person who cares for the cost. And that's why SABIC now, after so many years and people coming after him and taking SABIC to to globality, and SABIC today is number 3, and thanks to him for putting the initial seeds and also the cornerstone of SABIC.
And that instilled in our system the concept very seriously to take it as important as anything in the project.
I think the success of SABIC, which is the most profitable petrochemical company in the world, goes back to Abdulaziz Al-Zamil and his vision and his understanding of business principles, his ability to compromise, to see both sides of an issue and work together with his partners to resolve everything.
You know, he's a teacher that tell us exactly, you know, how things are done, and we're following his advice until we became leaders in our own right.
One of our partners in the early game, one of the company's partner, announced that they will draw from the project. And that was a very stressing and very serious subject. We are building the plants and negotiating, and yet, and we are designing that project. It's in the design stage, and yet the partner decided to leave for its own reason, and there were good reasons. It has nothing to do with us or Saudi Arabia or the concept of the petrochemical being built in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Al-Zamil kept cool and gathered his team. What are the scenarios? Okay, the partner leaves. Do we cancel the project or do we do it? It was really, really one of the biggest challenges that SABIC met at its early days. He said, I think you guys are really eager to do it, so let's do it without a partner. And guess what? Today it's the biggest complex in the whole SABIC, assets, activities all over the world. That project became the biggest one.
I have not seen him for a while, but I was lucky enough to see him few weeks before he passed away in London, and we went out and we had dinner. He had 2 of his children, Osama and Sattam. It was an opportunity to see the family man. In that evening, he was very proud of the children and what they've become. He was happy, and he was reciting the memories we've had together and what he's done, and in a very proud and serene manner.
Abdulaziz Al-Zamil, one of our industry's great founding fathers, a pioneer whose legacy has left a lasting mark on his country, people, and the wider Arabian Gulf region.